In this week's Top Gear, Ford's supercar for the 1990s,
in the beginning, there was the Ferrari F40, the first production car to crack 200 miles an hour. Lamborghini fought back with the Diablo. But it too was made to look stupid by the Jaguar XJ220 with a top speed of 213 miles an hour. It was the fastest car in the world, a record it held for about 6 minutes. Then came the McLaren F1. Top speed, 231 miles an hour. That's pathetic. $1 million for a car that can only do 231 miles an hour. I know a Ford that'll go faster than that. So here we are at Le Mans, scene of the Ford GT40's 4 epic wins in the 1960s, and scene now of my introduction to its spiritual successor, the GT90, a car that could well turn out to be the fastest road car in the world. Ooh, yes. Yes. And this time, Mr. Noel Edmonds, are you fit? What Ford has done is take the chassis and suspension from the Jaguar XJ220 and set out to create the meanest, nastiest, most evil piece of automotive hardware ever. The engine has 12 cylinders, 48 valves and 4 turbos, which right now have their wastegates jammed open. If Ford weren't being such spoil-sports with the turbo, this car would be producing, and sit down for this, 720 brake horsepower. That's 7 times more than you get in a Mondeo. It's twice as much as you get in a TVR Cerbera. It's very nearly 200 horsepower more than you get in a McLaren F1. It's by far the most powerful car in the world, and it sounds like it too. I know the turbos aren't connected up, but you can still hear them whistling away back there. And then there's the bark of the V12. Heaven really is a place on earth. The turbos aren't working because the engineers are still not sure the chassis could handle all the power. Power that could get this car from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds and on to a top speed of 235. It's fantastic, but it does beg the question, why?
It's been 30 years since the GT40. The GT90 was a good way to commemorate the 30-year anniversary of the GT40. And with the introduction of the reorganization of Ford product development, we wanted a good example, outstanding example of Ford's technology prowess. What better way than the GT90?
I don't want to appear rude, but the supercar is a European thing. It's something that we do. So what are you Americans doing muscling in on our territory?
Just to prove that we could build one better. I would remind you that the GT40 that won 4 years in a row was powered by an American V8.
Yeah, but we designed the rest of it. It was a British car.
Not the American V8. The car was.
Yes. But this is an all-American effort. How do you think it would stack up to McLarens, Bugattis, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and so on?
The GT90, as you know, is a concept vehicle. It's a one-off car. But if we had a 2 to 3 year development program, there's no doubt that we could build a car that would be fully competitive.
What do you mean by fully competitive?
Better.
It's not really fair to judge this as a driving machine because it is just a one-off concept car. The steering wheel's loose, I can't see the dials, but I love the gearbox straight out of an XJ220, love the noise, love the character of the car, very macho. America's first attempt at a supercar, and they pulled it off. Woo-hoo.
But the best thing is the way this car looks, like something from the mind of James Cameron. Not pretty like a Ferrari or obvious like a Lambo. More like an origami interpretation of a hobnail boot.
Of course, being a supercar, you get the usual supercar problem. No rear three-quarter vision, but Ford's thought about that. There are sensors outside there, and if they detect a car overtaking me, haha, fat chance. A huge red warning light comes on in the door mirror.
This could be the cleverest, most exciting car ever, but senior Ford management has pulled the plug. It isn't going to be made. But hey, don't worry. There's always the Fiesta diesel to look forward to.